What happens if you follow an entire ant colony for one full day? At 7 a.m., the lights automatically turn on and the colony's entire world suddenly comes alive. The first thing these ants do isn't eat. They rush to take care of the babies, moving them into dark and safer parts of the nest. But this colony has something even more interesting. Some ants are preparing food, some are collecting supplies, and deep inside the nest, others are protecting the queens. So I decided to follow everything from 7 a.m. until the lights turn off at 7 p.m. At 8:13 a.m., it was time for breakfast. The ants were given seeds, but they don't eat them like we do. They chew the seeds, mix them with their saliva, and turn them into a strange food called ant bread. Honestly, I'd rather have some eggs. Then came their version of drinking water, sweet water. I marked the feeding area with an S, and within minutes, the workers started carrying supplies back into the nest. But then I discovered a problem. Between 9 and 11:30, the colony had turned its home into a complete mess. Waste was everywhere, and hundreds of angry ants were moving around the enclosure, so I had to clean it. The problem was, one wrong move could disturb the entire colony. I even built a tiny homemade vacuum to clean the glass. But during the process, 2 ants accidentally got sucked inside. Luckily, I immediately put them back. Then I replaced the old sand with fresh sand, but that created another problem. The new sand buried part of the water tube, making the area around it constantly wet. Instead of giving up, the ants adapted. They started digging a completely new tunnel around the buried tube. By lunchtime, Bob became the center of attention. And here's something crazy. When ants lick their food, they aren't simply tasting it. Their saliva contains antimicrobial properties, which helps protect the food before it reaches the nest. Deep underground, workers were busy taking care of Bob and the larvae. Then, at 4:20 p.m., only one piece of meat was left. The workers tried dragging it inside, but it was almost too big for the entrance. Then dinner arrived. I gave them dead mealworms, and the entire colony suddenly went into transport mode. They grabbed the mealworm and tried dragging the entire thing into the nest. But there was one problem. It got completely stuck at the entrance. While they were struggling with their giant dinner, I looked over at Bob, and that's when I noticed something unexpected. Bob had grown wings. She was no longer an ordinary worker. She had become a queen, and she wasn't the only one. Several other queens were being protected deep inside the colony. Finally, at 7 p.m., the lights turned off. The colony became quiet, but while everything looked peaceful from outside, deep underground, their tiny civilization was still alive.